Hey there, welcome back to our digital pop art inspired by Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein. Today, we are going to be learning how to apply the Band-Aid dots onto our artwork, as well as making the black lines around our artwork disappear, meaning they won't show up anymore. This is purely an aesthetic choice, meaning it is your choice whether you think it looks better this way or not. So in this saying, Band-Aid dots were derived from Roy Lichtenstein's work, little polka dots that you see within his artwork that almost make it look like a comic book. These Band-Aid dots normally were within the artwork. So if it was a portrait or a picture of a person's face, the Band-Aid dots would be within the portrait, so on the face or on any other parts like the nose, the lips, the eyes, to create some texture and also values, so some darks to lights. Band-Aid dots were also used in the background. So you have two choices on where you would like to apply your Band-Aid dots when it comes to completing your artwork, because this is a requirement of our online digital artwork that we are creating here. So depending on where you want to add these, you can go ahead and add them to the background if you'd like. You do have to make sure you have your select tool clicked on and selected. That way you can click on the shapes you want to add the Band-Aid dots into. So I'm going to focus on, say, the background. I clicked on the background and I can see that my rectangle for the background is highlighted with these blue squares on the corners and the edges. Once I have my tool or my background selected, I'm going to come up over to the Shapes menu, and I'm going to click on that. The Shapes menu has a circle and a rectangle as the photo. You will click on that. Your first option will be Shapes, and you're going to search for the circle option. So here's my circle. Once you have your circle selected, you will either have a plus sign, just like I do, to indicate that you are ready to create your circles, or you will have almost a little bullseye to show you that you're ready to create your shapes. When you are at this point, you can do a left click with your mouse, drag it down, and make your dot to the size that you would like it to be. Band-Aid dots are normally fairly small. You don't want to make them this big. Otherwise, again, it kind of defeats the purpose of making value and texture within your Band-Aid dots. So keep them fairly small. Don't make them so small that you're going to drive yourself insane. This is about a good size here if you have a pretty open space background. So I'm going to go ahead and let go of my mouse. And now you can see that my Band-Aid dot is colored in with the same background color, and it's also highlighted with my little squares. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the color of my Band-Aid dots. I don't quite want it to be that dark, so I'm going to click on this color, not quite the color I want. So you can select the color that you think is the better fit. I'm going to say that this right here is my better fit. And when you click off of the Band-Aid dot, you notice a black outline. With your select tool, you can click on that Band-Aid dot again. And to get rid of that black outline on your Band-Aid dot, you're going to click on the border color here. It is right next to the paint bucket. A menu will pop down for the color choices you want for your outline. You're going to click on transparent, and that itself will get rid of your Band-Aid dot. Now, instead of going in and filling in your background by trying to create your circles to be the same exact size every single time, we are going to create a shortcut for that. So I'm basically going to copy and paste the circle that I have already created and scoot it over into my background the way I want it to look. So I'm going to click on my Band-Aid dot here, and I'm going to make sure it is highlighted. Again, you will know that your shape is highlighted when you have your squares surrounding that shape. Once you have your one Band-Aid dot selected, you're going to press on Control C, and that will be your copy mechanism. So Control C will be your copy. You'll click off of your shape, And then you will click on Control B for paste, and you will see that a circle automatically pops up. And then you can take that circle and line it up the way you need it to look. And you have a Band-Aid dot the same exact size and color as the first one you made. And I'm going to go ahead and do this to fill in my background. So I'm going to go in and line up my little Band-Aid dots the way I would like them to look on my artwork there. That one's a little far away, so I can scooch them over, click on this one, and bring them up this way. Now, with Google Draw, there is no way to go around and only make half a circle and then let it go behind our figure. So if you need to stop here, that is fine. Or if you want to scoot things over, you can do that as well. You might have something that fits in there once you scoot things over. But you're going to continue to fill in the space that you decided to use the Band-Aid dots on. If the background is not the place you want to put the dots, you can also put them within the shape of your figure. So say I have this big shape here that is pretty empty, simply because I did not complete the tracing on this just for teaching purposes. I'm going to click on that shape. I'm going to go back to my shapes here, go to my circle, and maybe these Band-Aid dots are going to end up smaller than the ones on my background. So I'm going to go in, create my little circle Band-Aid dot. You can't see it because it's the same color as this background. So I'm going to go in, and I think for these Band-Aid dots, I'm going to make them just slightly darker and take the border off. Too light for me, so I'll just go back. Select something just a little brighter, and then I'm going to place that in here. I think I'm going to go just a little smaller with these Band-Aid dots. And yeah, that's about the size I want them, so I'm going to highlight that, Control C for copy, and then Control V for paste. And I can now fill in this entire shape with Band-Aid dots. I will let you know, however, that Band-Aid dots aren't necessarily dots that you put all over the place crazy and they're just polka dots. They actually sort a pattern here. So that is why these little red lines pop up, because it's showing you that your measurements or that your circles are straight here. That's how I get my straight line, kind of that visual measurement there. And when you go to line them up vertically, it does the same thing. You have that little red line there to show you that it's kind of evened out. But you can continue to do this until your shape is nice and filled in with these Band-Aid dots. Now, once you are done with the Band-Aid dots, one other thing you can do is you can get rid of some of these outlines from your masterpiece here. So if you wanted to get rid of, say, little TJ's outline of his hair, you can go and click on it with your select tool, go to your border color tool, and click on transparent, and that automatically gets rid of that outline of his hair. Now, if you want to make that a different color, you're also welcome to do so. And click on a lighter color here, and you end up with a light outline of his hair. So you can choose to either keep the black outline, make it disappear, or you can play around with the colors of the outlines, keeping in mind that you either go with a monochromatic color scheme or a polychromatic color scheme. Again, this is kind of a portion on where you can go in and just play around with shapes and see how those things really help with your finalized artwork. You don't necessarily have to make everything the same color, but you're more than welcome to play around with whatever you have here. Well, that is all I have for you today. Please feel free to experiment on your artwork and make this look as awesome as you want. You can add as much Band-Aid dots as you'd like, or you can choose to do the background or some part of the face. So you have a couple of choices there, and feel free to play around with the color choices of your lines as well, as this is your digital artwork. So you can definitely make it your own and make your icon really pop once you get everything put together. Thank you so much for sticking to this recording. I will see you next